Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hello.
All right, guys, we're back. We have plenty to talk about, so let's get right into it. By the time you listen to this, there will be a review of Kimmy. This is the new Steven Soderbergh movie starring Zoe Kravitz that is on HBO Max about a woman with agoraphobia who works for like a tech company, sort of a Facebook, Google type thing. And she listens to messages sent to like a Siri kind of device or a Google Home type of device. And she looks to like correct errors when people are misinterpreted. But she thinks she hears somebody get murdered on one of the recordings. And so then it kind of what's happening, sort of, who done it type of story. So, again, it's on HBO Max. By the time you listen to this episode, that review will be up on the Coming Distractions feed and our YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Nerdpocalypse. All right, both of us watched Ali Wong's new stand-up called Don Wong on Netflix. Michael, what were your thoughts?
I'm a big fan of Ali Wong, even to the point where I think she was speaking directly to me in this particular stand-up in a number of cases, which is probably a problem, given the topics that she was speaking about. But
some of them I thought about you. Yeah, that's funny.
But I'm a big fan of hers. She is a very funny stand-up that is really raunchy. Like women's stand-ups tend to be like, at least the ones that aren't like, coffee bean premium blend type, stand-ups. They tend to be very, very like
Paula Poundstone.
yeah. Like they tend to be like raunchy and like they talk about like bodily functions and shit a lot.
That tends to be a common thing, unfortunately.
And it you have to be a special type of person to make that work for me. Ali Wong is a special type of person.
Yeah.
I think that she is the second that within the first 5 minutes, you're gonna know if you like this or not.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it don't get it. Ali Wong is what she is within those first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think this is hysterical. I think
she's amazing.
I think she's one of the better stand-ups that I've seen. I'm trying to get to see all of my favorite stand-ups in person.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten to see her in person yet, but yeah, man, I'm a big fan of it. I love it.
Yeah, I think this one was really good. There's a couple of, there's always this like silly argument, I think, about like whether are women funny, like stand-up wise. And I think that's ridiculous. Largely because I think comedy is so subjective, and what you find hilarious generally has a lot to do with like your human perspective, right?
Right.
Like women comics tend to talk about women's issues, and since I'm not a woman, I miss some of it, right? Like I just do, and that's okay, right? Like it's like black comics versus white comics. Like there are black comics that just like hit, for me personally, bigger because they are talking about black experiences, right? Like, so I get why it wouldn't work as much for other people, and that's okay. Ali Wong, though, I think might be one of the best female comics of all time. Like, truly. Like, I think she is really good, and she doesn't shy away from women's issues, which is what I like about her. I mean, you sent me a text and you were like, "Hey, Ali Wong's new stand-up is on," and I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I fucking know it's out. Get out of here." But of course, but you immediately were like, "Yo, she's swinging for the fences in this episode or in this stand-up," and she is, man. Like she might be more brutal in this one than she's been in the other ones. And it's awesome. It's awesome to watch.
if there is one thing that I will say, not, of course, we love Ali Wong, but I have to bring this up as a critique. It feels a little similar to Hard Knock Wife in that in Baby Cobra, nobody knew who she was, right?
Right.
Like, the fuck? Like, people watched it because they were like, who is this small, pregnant Asian woman with a microphone in her hand? And holy shit, like, this is funny. And Hard Knock Wife, she got a little bit of fame, and she starts talking about her life and like how she's kind of come up from Baby Cobra to Hard Knock Wife. Dong Wong is a little more of the same, right? Like,
but it's also like I'm not just popular now. Like, I'm uber famous.
I'm uber famous to the point where like Hard Knock Wife, I think, is relatable. Dong Wong, in terms of like on a financial perspective, you know what I mean? Whereas Dong Wong is like, motherfucker, I'm rich and I got fucking rich people problems. But at the same time, she can craft a funny set describing her rich people problems and make it somewhat relatable, right?
Yeah.
But like, not like she's talking about, like, there's one bit where she's talking about what she was about the chef on the movie set that she was on,
right?
And while I think that's hysterical, like, I could see people kind of knocking it for like not being relatable if you are used to that type of person, or if you're used to the previous two specials, right? But at the same time, like yo, this woman is famous now, yo. Like,
it comes with different issues. It just comes with different issues.
It comes with different issues, man. And they're different. They're not better or worse, or like, they're different. And I think she does a good job of conveying that in this special.
Yeah, look, I think she's very good. The person I'm on Netflix trying to find this other woman who I think is like, one, I think Michelle Wolf, while she has not the greatest voice,
shrill of a voice, right?
She's fucking hilarious to me. Like, she is a very, very good comedian. I think as a modern comedian, I think she's really great.
I think Nikki Glaser, I think, is pretty funny.
Nikki Glaser is, I almost find Nikki Glaser a little too much. I'm like, I get it. I get it. Like, I get it. Like, it's almost like too crass for me. And I'm just like, all right. And I know that's me. I'm like super old, right? So it's like, I try to listen to some podcast that's like very popular. I can't remember the name of it. It's like, I don't know. It's like Who's Your Daddy, starring some like woman or whatever on Spotify. And she's like, yeah, I just want sex with my boyfriend, like, fuck me in the ass and shit in my mouth. I was like, all right, this is enough. It's enough. It's enough. It's enough. I get it. You're very extreme. You're saying very extreme things. Click. No, like, I don't want to hear sex advice from a person like that. It's annoying. I'm like, where's Sex with Emily? It's a nice, reasonable woman. She knows what she's talking about, and she's not yelling obscenities. Like, I'm old. I don't need to hear that 8:30 in the morning. It's weird. What's her name? What is this woman's name? Eliza Schlesinger. Like, I think she's really funny.
I think
she's
funny too.
Yeah, she's got some really good jokes. She gets a little weird sometimes with like some, like, not impressions, but like wacky noise type things. But I think all in all, she's really good at weaving stories. But yeah, I think there are a lot of great female comedians. But I don't think a lot of them get the shine that male comedians get. And I think that's largely because, dudes run the industry. So it's like, I don't get periods. So they don't want to talk about it, right? That's just basically all it is.
Like, dudes don't talk about taking shits and jerking off all the time. You know what I mean? Like, it just...
So, yeah. But I think Ali Wong, again, I think is one of the best female comedians, like, hands down right now. But I think she's going to end up going down as one of the better ones to do it, like, ever. Because I just think she's really good at, like, pulling audiences into whatever her world is at the time. And it's like, when she was talking about like, my husband sitting at home in the house I paid for, wearing the Rolex I bought him, Like, oh, how do you feel about your wife saying all these things? He's like, I don't give a shit. Like, yeah,
right.
like, yeah. But it's such a reversal,
life,
right? But it's such a reversal from what we normally see, which is like a male comedian being like, and I pay for all this shit, right? Like Chris Rock talks about that, like with his ex-wife,
right.
like I bought her a house or whatever. And it's okay. We totally accept it, but you don't often hear it from female comedians. So it's kind of cool to see the other side of it.
Yeah. Highly recommend.
Yeah. Always. Ali Wong's got something coming out on Netflix. I'm gonna watch that shit. Like, just hands down. All right, let's talk about the series, or season finale of Peacemaker. It's Cow or Never. What's the name of the episode? I am going to go out on a limb and say that Peacemaker is the best new show, in my opinion, that I've watched this year. Easily the best. I thought this season had honestly no weak episodes to me. I mean, some were better than others or whatever, but I never thought it was a weak episode. Like, we'll get them next week. Like, I never felt like that. Like, I was all in on every episode. I think Gunn just super nailed this. Like, I really, really do. And they delivered in the finale, which is always the hardest thing, is to like live up to the expectations that you're building all season. And they did. With style, I thought. Like, I really, really enjoyed this show. And I desperately look forward to season 2.
Yeah, Peacemaker was the series. When I heard it was coming out, I thought it was going to be. I gave it the benefit of the doubt because I'm a John Cena fan, right? Like, I like John Cena. I think that guy is, given the correct program, I think he can execute a pretty fun. He's a funny guy, is what I'm saying. And the series as a whole surprised me a bit. This last episode really brought everything together. Like you said, it had everything. It had all that gore. It was funny. There were moments of heart, but nothing felt like tonally. Nothing felt like, at least to me, and maybe that's because like the show has trained me to expect these shifts in tone. But I didn't mind, like, at one point one character is being very, very heartfelt, and you see, Peacemaker, he's like, he feels bad for all the shit that he's done throughout the entire season, right? Like,
yeah,
like
that scene fucking hit. It hit well.
Yeah, man, it really did. And yeah, but you still get go, you get the gore, you get the heart, you get the laughs, you get a fucking political message, and you get some cameos. Like,
I would argue the best cameos you've gotten in the DC television history, by far.
It's yeah, man. It's really. It was good. I enjoyed it. And we'll talk about it later. But I'm glad it's coming back for a second season.
Yeah. Normally we would talk through this episode, but because it's a season finale and there are some really big things in it, I don't actually want to spoil it for anybody. So
yeah, it's
because I think you should enjoy it on your own.
It's the culmination of everything that's happened within the season. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to just kind of run through without kind of remembering everything that goes on. It's just watch it. And I'm very pleased with this show. Like Peacemaker was appointment television for me. Peacemaker.
It was. Yeah. I'm just like, oh shit, it's Thursday?
And an F-list DC character.
Right, with a toilet bowl on his head.
Right.
Ridiculous.
Starring a wrestler. What the fuck?
Right, like, yeah, this show has no reason to be as good as it is. Like, that has been my thought about it the entire time. It has no reason to be as, like, thought-provoking as it is, right? Like, again, I saw people who were like, this looks fucking stupid because I watched the opening dance sequence or whatever, and I'm not watching this show. Yo, you missed a great television program. Like, you really did. Like, yes, it's goofy as fuck, but there's also, like, again, that part that you're talking about with a character who is forced to have this conversation about a thing that has been bothering him all season, and you really get a feeling of, like, how much this hurt this character.
Yeah,
and
man.
like, and you also see the person who did that to him really feel like legitimately bad about it. Like, legitimately bad about it. And as much as you feel for those characters, like, almost immediately after that, something happens to one of those characters that's fucked up, and you're just like, oh, that's kind of funny. like it's just like, they give you, Gunn is so good at giving you the absolute absurd shit, and there is Human Torpedo is one of the most absurd things I've ever fucking seen. And it was fucked up. But he actually weaves the absolute absurdity with these heartfelt moments. And he doesn't undercut the heartfelt moments. Like, he gives those things enough time to, like, sit with you. And then he's like, all right, back to the shit. Right. And, like, he does a really good job of that. And I don't know if it's like his trauma background or what it is about him, but he's one of those directors very uniquely capable of that. And there's not a lot of people who are. Because most times you end up undercutting a serious moment by, like, comedy right after it, right? But, like, he doesn't do that. He's able to, like, figure out a way to, like, give you space to appreciate those moments. Yeah, without making everything dark and brooding as well.
I'm looking at images of Peacemaker from the comics. Yo,
it's ridiculous.
I just want to sit down with whoever designed this character and just to figure out what the hell was going on in your head when it came to the helmet. Like, and the fact that this show and movie, the Suicide Squad movie, the fact that, like, they embraced it, like that's how you know, like, this shit is genuine. You know what I mean? Like, it's not someone trying to come in to, like, I get trying to come in and put your stamp on something, right? You want to make your mark, especially if it's something like our Batman, something that everybody's done and that everybody's seen. Like, you want to try to change things up. But yo, sometimes, like, if you're making a goofy comic book thing, like just go ahead and get goofy with it.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Like, it's amazing. And there's part of me that thinks, like, Gunn would be really great at dealing with the mainline superheroes, like, not necessarily directing the stuff, but kind of guiding things. But at the same time, I kind of want him to stay on the absurd side because he knows this shit. Like, he's so good at it. And there's so many, like, wackadoo DC characters to deal with that he could just have fun with. Kite Man could be in season 2. They've name dropped him multiple times throughout this season. You had mentioned last week, fucking put Snowflame in it. A character whose powers are derived from because he's a coke addict? Come on, dude. That's genius. That's perfect for this show. That's perfect. So, like, you could just have fun. You could just totally have fun on that side of the universe. Let him handle Suicide Squad. Give him a trilogy of those movies because you get to just add in any wackadoo characters that you want, right? Like, you don't have to bring Peacemaker back. You can do other characters and let Peacemaker do his own series, right? You can do anything you want. Like, it's just, it's wild how good he is at this. But somehow he's able to make Peacemaker a more interesting character than the mainline characters have been in the DCEU to date. He's more interesting than Batman. He's more interesting than Superman. He's more interesting than Wonder Woman, as in Flash and Aquaman, as they've been presented. I'm not saying comic history wise. I'm saying as they've been presented in the sort of Snyderverse. He's more complex. Yeah, he's more layered.
And that just shows you that, like, it was never the actors, right? Like, it was never the actors who were the problem. Like, it was the storytelling.
Like, or lack thereof.
right. Like it was just the bullshit. Like I don't look. We get into it enough, but I'm glad that dude is away from this.
Yeah.
And because I'm very excited to see these next couple DC movies and how they shake out.
Yeah. Because you could have we'll talk about it, but 2022 could genuinely be a banner year for DC. Like it could be. They might have 3 or 4 hits on their hands. And I think that's cool. Like I don't have any sort of like, I hope only Marvel does well and fuck DC. I think that's stupid. I think that's dumb. I want good movies. I don't give a shit what company you come from. They ain't paying me. What the fuck do I care? Like right. I just want to see good stuff. Like that's it. At the end of the day, I just want to see good things.
It's a real shame. It's a real shame that all the people of color were erased from Peacemaker. Real shame that. Real shame.
Yeah, that's the
Hashtag sarcasm. If you can't pick it up, real shame that all people of color were just disappeared or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Shut up, internet. Terrence really hit the term on the head when he called it the think piece industrial complex, because
he really did, yo.
Shit is.
It is. It really is. He's 100%. Yeah, like he gets a trademark for that shit. No one has nailed something more accurate than the think piece industrial complex. You are 100% correct. So yeah, it's ridiculous. But yeah, people of color have been erased from James Gunn's movies. Yo, he had 4 black people as major characters in his last 2 projects. What are you talking about? Whatever. It's like you don't even watch the shit that's on TV. All right, science and tech this week. Clearview AI aims to put almost every human in facial recognition database. That headline is not quite accurate. It should be Clearview AI aims to put every human face in recognition database. It's not almost. It's every one of them. The investors pitch said 100 billion photos would almost make everyone identifiable. So obviously there's 7.9 billion people on the planet, but there are only so many faces. And so like that's why, Future looks like Meryl Streep, right? Like there's only so many faces. He does, dude. You never seen that comparison? They look exactly the same.
No, I'm getting ready to do it.
Dude, just go. Somebody did a side-by-side of Meryl Streep and Future. They have the same cheekbones and everything. They look exactly the same. It's just one's white, one's black. Like, that's it. It's fucking weird. It's weird. There's only so many faces. Oh,
yeah.
Yo, they do, yo. It's weird. But there's only so many faces. There's only so many faces. Like, yo, like, there's probably a white dude out there or a white woman out there who looks like Jonathan Majors, like, which is strange. Like, she just got big lips. Like, it is what it is. Like, they just look. It's only so many faces. Humans only have so many fucking variables. The controversial facial recognition company Clearview AI reportedly told investors that it aims to collect 100 billion photos, supposedly enough to ensure that almost every human will be in its database. Again, because there's only so many faces. So yeah, they think 100 billion images is enough, which is 100 billion is a lot of images anyway. But they're grabbing them mostly from the internet. Just like, cool. Like, just put your face out there. They just take that shit. Does that worry you, having your face in a facial recognition software for like being identified around the world?
Yes, but it doesn't worry me enough to erase all of the pictures that I do have off, to scrub my image off of the internet as best I can. Right. It just seems very weird. Like, why are you doing this? Why is this company taking this upon themselves to do this? Is it to help, police or whatever? Like, I understand the arguments that the company could make, but at the same time, like, what? It's weird. It's weird. Like, if a human being was clipping out photos of people to keep in a binder And that binder, it's technically the same thing, right?
Right.
They're keeping a bunch of random images in a database called a 3-ring binder
Right.
for whatever reason they want. It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. And I mean, look, the future is terrifying and interesting all at the same time, right? Like, sure, they're definitely going to use your face to run it through a criminal database, right? Police departments around the world will want this. Interpol, that type of thing, will want this, right? You walk your ass into a bank, rob it without a mask on. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, put some over your face. And, then they take that, they throw it into this database, they find your ass in 5 minutes, they come and lock your ass up, right? It makes sense. There's also the other aspect, which I actually think is kind of worse, which is companies will buy this because you're walking through a mall, right? Like, this is like future tech. Not even really future tech, like probably last week tech. You walk through a mall, they scan your face and they're like, hey, Micah, you wear size XYZ, obese people pants. Would you like to buy these? Would you like to buy these? They're on sale. I'm just going with the information I have. Hey, would you like to buy these pants at the Gap or whatever? And it's like, and then it's like talking to you specifically because it has your information that is readily, weirdly available through Facebook and all this other shit. Like, I find that to actually be worse, right? Like, that there's no privacy in like who you are and like what you want to buy and don't want to buy and things like that. Like, that feels odd to me.
Like Minority Report, man. Like,
Red
there's a scene in Minority Report just like that, where Tom Cruise is just walking around and one of the billboards was just like, hey, Tom Cruise, you want some lifts for those shoes? And it's
because he was wearing someone else's. He had someone else's eyes, so it thought it because it was like retinal scan. So it thought he was like Nakatomi Plaza or whatever the fuck the dude's name was, or some shit like that. It was like an Asian dude. Maybe not Nakatomi Plaza. Fine.
Yeah, I don't.
That feels offensive. I'm just being a dick. Relax. I'm just being a dick.
We'll
make fun of white people in a minute. Don't worry.
It's just very weird, man. And you're right. That's what it's going to be used for. It's going to be used to sell ads. And that just feels dirty. Like, I get the cop thing, right? I think it's weird for the cop thing, but I you at least understand. Like, what kind of Watch Dogs bullshit is this?
Right.
But I get it. But I don't get it. I understand it. But yeah, you're right. It's probably just going to be used for so that Google can fucking sell you ads and shit.
Yeah.
Or anybody can just sell you something that that's gross. It's gross.
Yeah, like, that feels weird. Like, there was a story this week in politics that a woman got arrested for something. I don't know if she did it or not. I think she maybe did. But they got her because they had her DNA from a rape kit because this woman was raped. So they put her DNA on file, and then they used that DNA that was on file because of, as they filed the rape kit, rightfully so, to find her rapist. And they were like, nah, you did a crime now. Like, I was like, that feels fucked up, right? Like, that feels fucked up. But at the same time, like, I mean, they got your DNA. Like, what they supposed to ignore it? Like, it's like, it's kind of weird. Right. So, like, again, not that I approve of it, but I at least understand the law enforcement aspect of it. But
to a point,
right? Like, it gets weird, but it's definitely going to be used for commercial weirdness. And I don't like, right? Like, I'm just like, can I order something? I don't need you to tell me what I want, even though I definitely want that. Let me choose when I'm ready.
Yeah, like, that's fucked up, man. Like,
it's dystopian.
Anyway, the bottom line is this whole thing is fucked up.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
again, these are things that we should be worried about, not whether or not you falsely believe that people of color characters are being erased from James Gunn movies. That's stupid and not true. Maybe focus your attention on things that are real, like having your face stolen by this tech company. It's weird. By the way, they can do it lawfully because if you put that shit on the internet, like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember John Oliver had one of his episodes was kind of dedicated to something like this, and they show the founder of Clearview, and he looks like someone that would take a bunch of faces and put them in a binder. Like, he's weird, dude.
Of course he's weird. Of course.
Look at this dude. Google. I'll send it to you.
Right.
This dude looks fucking weird, man. Google this dude's name and tell me that dude is not someone who is he's a creep, yo. He's a creep. He's a 34-year-old Australian creep. Get out of here, dude.
Oh no, I get a full creep vibe. Full creep vibe, dude. No, I don't like it. No, steal that guy's face. Steal it. Oh look, he's a Trump guy. That's cool.
Yeah, Google image it, and what do you see in that first row? Him standing next to fucking red hats. The red hats.
Crazy. Shocking news. Again, not cool, man. Not cool. No, sir, I don't like it.
Look at this image. Sorry, folks, for you listening. Look at that image and tell me that dude's not a fucking creep.
Yep, that was the image I was just looking at. Thank you. And now I can't sleep. Appreciate it. Ew. Cut your hair or pull it back. Jesus. Get out of here. Stop wearing your hair like you're Helen Hunt and it's 2001. It's weird, dude. It's weird. Put a band on your wrists. Pull your hair back. Like, come on, man.
Oh, shit.
Jeez.
You're not...
Gross.
Anyway, Peacemaker, as we said before, being renewed for season.
This guy's got lady hair. I don't appreciate it. Not long hair. He's got 90s lady hair. It's weird.
He's got Susan hair.
Yeah, yo.
Susan hair.
Lily. He looks like a Lily. Get out of here. And your hair looks ridiculous. Anyway, go ahead.
Peacemaker's coming back for season 2. Thanks to Peter Safran, John Cena, our incredible cast and crew, our wildly supportive and loving friends at HBO Max, and mostly all of you for watching. Was a tweet that James Gunn tweeted out announcing that Peacemaker is coming back. Yeah, man. Like we said, we talked about it earlier. It's great. Happy for everybody involved. I get to see Harcourt some more, which is not bad at all.
Nope.
And
no, it's not.
And yeah, I very much enjoy the show.
Yeah, we see you, James Gunn. We see you.
Yeah, buddy.
We get it.
I am mad at you. So a Bioshock movie is in the works at Netflix.
All right, you're gonna have to explain to me. I know what Bioshock is. I know what Bioshock Infinite is, sort of. You're gonna have to explain to me how this is possibly going to work as a movie and not be terrible. Is it possible?
Yes, there's a story that you can tell. And ironically, Zack Snyder would probably be the best person to tell this story. Because it is.
Can he not write
it? Is.
Can he?
If he doesn't write it, if he does, but see, given the nature of what Bioshock is.
Oh right, it is sort of Ayn Randian though.
Yeah, man, he would kill for something like this. So yeah, Bioshock is this game that came out a couple years ago to much acclaim, and the premise is that there were basically a group of people who decided to start their own society underwater without government regulations, without government rules.
Oh,
you can
Zack Snyder's like, let's fucking go.
Right. You could pretty much do whatever you want. It's a libertarian, like, wet dream. And this person has to go in there. I forget the reason why he goes in there. But he goes in there, and one of the first things you see is that a doctor has, and they are completely like atheist, right? Like they don't believe in God. They believe in science and man, right? Like this is what they believe, right? So they're libertarians and they are atheists, right? And with that,
which is weird. By the way, which is super weird. Like they believe in something that's actually makes sense, and then they believe in libertarianism. Okay, like all right.
they believe that no outside force, be it government or God, should be able to tell them what to do, right? Okay. And one of the first things you see when you go underwater is a splicer, and like you hear these stories of these doctors working on people and just doing like different things to them, and you hear this through audio logs. One of the first audio logs is a doctor deciding that he wants to experiment on this patient, and the nurse is like, well, I mean, I don't think we should be doing that. And the doctor's like, basically like, yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway, because who's gonna stop him, right? And it's an incredibly interesting narrative that deals with like the what happens in this type of situation, right? Like people end up on different sides, right? And it basically like different societies take shape. It's a super interesting game. I'm not doing it justice. It's a super interesting game. And I feel like this would be better suited to be a series, right?
Yeah, I'm actually surprised. I'm actually surprised that it's not.
Because this thing could be the next Handmaid's Tale. Like
wow,
that's how much like depth, no pun intended, that this thing has. I really hope that story takes precedent. Like it'll be cool to see the big daddies and the little sisters. That's what you see in this image right here.
Right.
But I don't want it to be just about like there are stories that you can tell, man. And I kind of wish this was a series, but I'm excited for it. Okay. Bioshock 2 wasn't really that great, and then Bioshock Infinite was really good, but like instead of like people being atheists, like it was all about God, right? And like the villains, they were all about God, and your character literally has to be baptized before you can go into Bioshock, or before you can go into Columbia, which was a city in the clouds, so they could be closer to God and shit. And it was Bioshock Infinite was an interesting premise that I don't think lived up to its potential. But this original Bioshock, it's pretty legendary. So I'm very curious to see what they do.
Yeah, it's fascinating because I would have assumed that this would have gotten moving as an IP much earlier. I mean, when did Bioshock originally come out? 2007.
Bioshock came out in 2007. So
yeah, I'm just like with all the comic book movies and video game movies and sort of all this like popular IP, I would have thought they would have gotten this done like the early aughts, like 2010, like maybe 2012 or something like that. I'm surprised.
You know what? This is going to sound ridiculous, but I don't think it is. And hear me out. This game came out in 2007. What happened in 2008 of incredible significance?
Right. Okay.
Like we weren't in a dystopia, right? We were all about, yes, we can. It was very uplifting. Progress. Like the zeitgeist was pumped about progress, and they loved their government, right? Now what happens in the Trump era, right? Like where society is and pop culture, they're kind of dwelling into this shit. You're seeing COVID movies and shit like that because, and I'm not blaming COVID or Trump on COVID before like anybody. Well, you probably wouldn't be listening to this anyway, but like That would be weird. That would be very weird. But yeah, so I'm not terribly surprised that Bioshock hasn't happened until now.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, because the idea of what the zeitgeist, like what is the zeitgeist at the time, does matter, right? Like I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, 2007. It'd be a little weird to do sort of a libertarian Ayn Randian fuck government movie. Like it just wouldn't work, right? Like even the libertarian movement hadn't. It had sort of like grabbed hold, but this idea of like that's just not where the vast majority of the government of America and the vast majority of the world was, right? Like it felt like we're coming out of like this post-Bush thing. Like maybe like things will get better, and they did get better, but obviously they still aren't like fixed. But that makes sense. And like, you're right. Now makes a lot more sense actually. So things feel very dark now. So you might as well give the people what they want.
Also, as we like to say on Dense Pixels all the time, get your politics out of my video games.
Yeah, good luck with
that. which is we say it sarcastically because video games are a form of art and politics kind of permeates everything.
Yeah.
So get over it, basically.
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just glad that politics has never made it into comic books. I can't believe they're putting politics into a Captain America movie. Really interesting.
Yes, I mean it's literally Captain America punching Hitler, but okay, right. Nothing political about that. Nothing.
No, I mean that's just a good time. That's just a good time. People are weird.
Holy shit. A guy dressed in a flag punching Hitler.
Right.
Nothing political about
an American flag. Right. Like he's got America in the name. Like it's in the name. It's right there.
He's got America in the name and a military title proceeding.
Right. Like, people are like, yo, this is too political. Really? Really? Is it? I can't believe they're doing politics in a Captain Marvel movie. She's from the military, dude. Like, she's in the military.
Holy shit. I hate people. Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Stranger Things is still a thing. And it has been renewed for a fifth and final season at Netflix. Do you still watch Stranger Things?
So here's the thing. I could not get through, and I shouldn't say couldn't. I didn't have the impetus to get through season 4. I made it to like, I made it to like maybe episode 5 or 4 of season 4. And I was just like, I don't think I care. This might make me go back and like try to push on through so I can see what the ending is. I really enjoyed the first 3 seasons. I did. I think it probably could have ended at season 3, to be honest. Like they could have wrapped that story. But it's so goddamn popular. Look, I love season 1. I love season 2. Season 3 was like pretty good. And then season 4, I was just like, there's an introduction to so many new characters that I felt like it started to pull away from the core group of kids. And that sort of made it less interesting to me. From what I saw in those early episodes. It doesn't mean that's how it ended in the season or anything, because I don't know. But okay, I think 5 seasons is probably plenty before you make it so that people like hate the series. So like end on a high note. I mean, people still are into it, so good for them. Where did you drop off?
I stopped at season 2.
Did you finish season 2?
Season 3. Yeah, I finished season 2. I didn't watch any of season 3. I just stopped caring. I don't mind stuff from the 80s. I just don't have like a love for it that other people do. Like I'll listen to some music, but like I don't want to relive the 80s. I just don't. I don't see the appeal. 80s was a weird fucking time, man.
Yeah, it was. That's the appeal. That's the appeal. Like it was a super weird time.
All right.
I like the music. Clothing was fucking stupid.
I like the music. The clothing was fucking weird. Black people were downtrodden.
We weren't doing too well in the
didn't.
80s.
Nope, and I don't want to relive it.
Yeah. That's fair. 90s was great.
The 90s, that's why I fucking love the 90s.
Yeah.
All the black movies were fucking black people just being successful, and
awesome.
and it's not even thought about. Like you just
there's a fact.
Yeah, I'm just successful.
Everybody,
of course I'm successful.
Right, but everybody was doing better in the country. Just financially, everyone for the most part. Don't but what about Uncle Joe? Yeah, we know. Relax. But like demographically, everyone was doing better than they almost had ever been doing in the 90s, right? Clinton was out here getting BJs and like fucking fixing the economy. It was great. It's like,
all right.
Get that man another blowjob. Things are working well. Like, who gives a shit?
Get one for anyone that needs one.
Right. Exactly.
That's my book. That's what I say.
I stand by that statement. I think that's a policy for life.
It goes any way you want. Also, goes any way you want. If a non-male, if a woman or a non-male is in charge, give them one. And
it's a stress reliever.
It's a stress reliever.
Yeah,
exactly. You don't want somebody getting carpal tunnel trying to relieve stress. Help them out.
That's right.
I clicked on a link on this page for a show that I very much care about more than Stranger Things, with a very, very similar headline. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel renewed for a 5th and final season at Amazon.
That's a bummer to hear that's getting only 5. But at the same time, I love that show, man. I love that show.
I love the show. The season 4 is premiering February 18th. And,
what? Is it tomorrow?
Yeah.
I didn't have a chance to watch the trailer. I forgot about it, so I never had a chance to go back. Oh shit, my wife is going to be ecstatic. That's awesome.
And so it is and it's going to be it's Amazon just announced that it's going to be renewed for a 5th and final season, which is currently underway filming in New York. Look, I'm sad to see it go, but at the same time, like, knowing that that's going to be their last season, hopefully they can write to that. You know what I mean? Like they won't just write something, have it be a cliffhanger, and then, oh yeah, by the way, we're not picking you up.
Yeah, that's always a real disappointment. You're like, oh.
Yeah, that happened to a show that I liked on Starz called Survivor's Remorse.
Oh, right.
But anyway, Star Trek 4 is in the works at Paramount with the whole cast returning.
Yes. I'm super excited about this.
Look, I like these new Star Trek movies. I like Star Trek, but I understand Star Trek's kind of place. Like, it's for like smart nerds, right? But at the same time, like,
boring
smart nerds, they like action too.
Yeah, of course.
And one of my favorite game series of all time, Mass Effect, is essentially Star Trek with more action.
That's all of us. that's
it, yo. So yeah, I like those movies. As a matter of fact, I forgot that I had Paramount Plus until you reminded me a couple of weeks ago, or since the Halo trailer reminded me that I had it a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to start Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, you have not watched it? I haven't
watched any of it.
I liked it. Some people really didn't like it. I liked it.
Can I guess why they really didn't like it?
No, but that's not apparent. Well, I don't know that that's not the reason. Probably part of it. If I'm being honest. But like, Star Trek nerds are real, like, weirdly, like, hyper detail oriented about, like, their Star Trek nerddom is like, well, but what about this? And I'm like, all right, I don't care that much. And I like Star Trek, but I'm not a hardcore Star Trek person. I'm just not.
Yeah, you're not a Trekkie.
No, I would not refer to myself as a Trekkie at all. I don't own any Trekkie memorabilia. I certainly don't have a Starfleet suit that I wear to to a con. Like, it's just no. But I like Star Trek. I like Star Trek a lot. look, I like this new series of movies, except for Into Darkness. I did not think it was very good. I think I am not alone in that. It was bad. Like they tried to do.
What was that, the second one?
Yeah, with the Wrath of Khan
one.
Yeah, no, not good, not good.
Yeah, that was weird.
It was a
the
mess.
third one's really good.
I liked what was it? Beyond.
Yeah,
right. That was the third one. That was really good. That felt more in line with the first one. I thought the first one was great. I really, really enjoyed the first one. So I'm glad to hear that everyone's back. I think Pine is an excellent Captain Kirk. Like he really is quite good. And I like Zachary Quinto as Spock. I think he's awesome. So it's good to see all of them coming back for this. That's great. I wish they had done more of this, honestly. Because this will probably.
I like that cast. I like that cast. That entire cast is pretty great.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see it's coming back.
I remember when this got announced, people were like, I don't know. And I remember that first trailer came out, people were like, I have to shut the fuck up. This actually looks really good. Like it did, dude. It looked really good. Like that trailer was great. And seeing that in theaters, I was like, this is a pretty goddamn good Star Trek movie. Like surprisingly good. But it in a way, and I understand Trekkie's point of this, it felt Star Wars like in a lot of ways. But I'm okay with that. Like I think one of the big things why Star Trek never pushed hard into the mainstream as much as it probably could have is because it didn't have enough like action. Like I feel that way. And maybe they didn't want it to, and that's okay too.
Yeah, I think hardcore Star Trek people, they really appreciate the sci-fi allegory of everything, right? Like,
right. Absolutely.
They just want to see. They want to see. It's basically like the political man's sci-fi show,
right?
You know, for adults. You know what I mean? Like, right. And it had, you know, what was it? The first interracial kiss ever. Yes. On screen, and like it's
on TV,
like on TV, yeah. So it's up. I see why they're like, what the fuck is all this running and jumping shit? Get out of here.
Just sit in the chair and talk. Right. Give me a talkie picture.
Talking politics, talking space politics.
Now, and here's the thing. That is perfectly fine in a series. Right, where you have time to develop those characters and have these sort of long form conversations about like, you know, what it is to have this sort of like racial, not just racial, but like, alien, human, utopia and everything else. Like those are all fine to do across 24 episodes per season or whatever, right? But in a movie, you gotta hook people with something, and you gotta do a little bit more than just talking. And sometimes you gotta like shoot a laser gun, you gotta ride a dirt bike and beyond, a space dirt bike, and like do something cool. But guess what? Like or play, and also play like BC Boys Sabotage in the trailer. But that shit worked. Like it was good. Yeah. So yeah, I think the movies have to have a little bit more gusto, and I think these movies have done a really good job of giving you sort of the classic Trekkie stuff, but also being able to weave in something that grabs audiences. So look, I look forward to it. My biggest issue is I'm bummed that they took such a long time between 3 and 4, because I feel like you could have cranked out more of these movies, because I really like this cast. But they're not that they're old, they're not old at all. But they're probably going to want to move on to do something else. But I would have loved to see like 5 or 6 of these, because I just think this cast really has good charisma together. Although Chekhov the kid who played Chekhov died, unfortunately.
Yeah, he died. So
that was a real shame. But I'm sure they'll figure out some replacement. Yeah, well, they'll probably just replace him. But I mean that was just a real tragedy that happened to him. He was so young.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, Moon Knight directors will be directing season 2 of Loki, which is pretty interesting. Moon Knight directors Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead will direct Loki season 2. It said head. Which tells me that Marvel is very, very pleased with Moon Knight. Which also tells me that Loki season 2 is going to get some pretty goddamn good directors, obviously. So that's as much as I know about these two people who are directing. But that's cool. Good. It's kind of funny that Loki is getting a season 2 because its story felt like very definitive and like that was it. Like I thought that this was going to be a limited series and then Tom Hiddleston was done. But it's interesting that they're kind of keeping him going, which is great because I like him in the role.
I always assumed there would be a second season for this. WandaVision felt like a one and done. Loki felt like it had more story to tell, and I don't think it will get a second season. But Captain America and the Winter Soldier felt like it could get it feels like you could tell another story.
Yeah, you could.
But that story can also be told in another Captain America movie. So I don't think
which is happening. So yeah,
right. So I don't think that's getting a second season. But Loki always felt like there was more story to tell given the ending. And given what Loki is, right? Like Loki kind of initiated the multiverse, right? Like the concept in the MCU. Like we knew about Multiverse of Madness coming, but this is the first time we've actually seen like it coined the term variance in the MCU.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm look, like you said, Marvel must be pleased with Moon Knight, and to the point where they're giving these two the reins to Loki, which unbelievably Loki is an incredibly popular character in the MCU. Like I say unbelievably because I never in my wildest dreams would have imagined that Loki of all characters would be a fan favorite.
People love that character so much. But that's a testament to Tom Hiddleston. Like his charisma is just through the roof.
You know that guy auditioned to be Thor?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Like you can see the video. You can see the video of him trying out. It's weird because I'm like, dude, you're like $145. Like you gotta relax. Like you look ridiculous. But at the same time, like I don't think Chris Hemsworth was that big when he applied, and then they were just like, "Here's the juice," and he was like, "I got it. Don't worry, I'll put on like 60 pounds of muscle."
Also, like Thor and like
allegedly,
Thor doesn't the traditional like drawings of Thor, the actual like story, not the Marvel character. He's just like a big fat Viking. Like he's just
like in God of War,
big fat ass.
Right.
Yeah, like in God of War, he's just a big fat ass. So
yeah, because
not a big fat ass. He's like a strong man with a giant belly.
Right, because that's where his power comes from. Yeah, right. But like
ironically in Endgame, he looked more like what Thor was thought to have looked like.
Right, because at that time, just physical size meant like power. It also meant like wealth, right? You know, it's like you can afford to eat more. Good. Yeah, you eating good because that's why you're big. Everybody else was skinny as fuck. It's like, yo, I'm starving. And he was like, nah, I'm good. Don't worry about me. So yeah, look, Loki season 2, that works for me. Knowing that the Moon Knight directors are doing this, that's great. Again, that says a lot. Marvel doesn't shift directors around to other projects unless they're really super nailing what they've been working on. You know, like John Watts directing Fantastic Four. John Watts hadn't fucking rocked that Spider-Man trilogy, he wouldn't be getting Fantastic Four. So, tells you a lot. Which is interesting because that means, I wonder if that means he's only going to do Fantastic Four, the first one, and go back to Spider-Man, or does that mean someone else comes in to do more Spider-Man movies? which is a shame because I think John Watts has like a really good handle on what Spider-Man is. So we'll see.
I think someone else needs to do Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man is going into I think this version of Peter Parker is going into a different phase of his life.
That's fair. That's fair point.
And I would love to see a different perspective from behind the camera on that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want him. These were like the John Hughes movies of the MCU, right?
Yeah.
And those first three Spider-Man, the home trilogy. Now he's at the away trilogy or whatever they're gonna call it.
The away trilogy. Home game.
I would like to see. Right. I would like to see a different perspective because he's college speed. This is going to be the Spider-Man that literally everybody recognizes.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that they told his origin story like in a trilogy, not in one movie.
Yeah.
Which is a fascinating way to do that. I wonder had they had that blocked out like that, or did they just like after Homecoming they were like, let's try to like let's go this way, right? Like it'd be interesting to know the behind the scenes of that.
Yeah, because given the events of Homecoming, what was the second one?
Far From Home.
It wasn't Far From Home. Given the events of Far From Home, you would think that they had the third one like in the chamber. You know what I mean? Given that the third one's all about like erasing the ending of the second one.
Right.
But
they probably did.
I don't know.
They probably did.
I would like to think they did.
But I would bet.
They did.
Yeah, go ahead. Like I bet they had the third one. I'd like to see the
backup of it.
Yeah, like I bet they had the third one in the chamber after the second movie, right? Because you got to explain like that second ending, like how the fuck are you going to get out of this, right? You can't just throw that out there and be like, we'll figure it out. Like that feels very dangerous to me. But maybe they're really good at this. But my guess is they didn't have the second movie mapped out at the time that they were working on the first one. They were like, okay, what do we do next? And then they were like, all right, let's write 2 and 3. But yeah, you kind of had to have 3 mapped out ahead of time, but maybe not that far ahead of time because you had to make sure you could secure all of those people, right? And that was probably not an easy thing to do. But they fucking nailed it. So Moon Knight directors taking on Loki season 2. That's great. Not since Wonder Woman 1984 has a comic book movie opened in China. Until now, The Batman has secured its Chinese release March 18th of this year. It's a really good day of the year. I'm just throwing that out there. It's one of the best days of the entire year. Great people were born on that day. Great people. Not like the 19th. Pfft, get out of here. This is good. This bodes well for the Batman as far as money wise. Like if nothing else. I mean, I don't really give a shit if it opens in China or not. Fuck China, but like fuck the Chinese government, not Chinese people in general. That's weird. But I don't really give a shit if comic book movies open there or not. But as far as this movie doing well, that's great for the WB. That's awesome.
Yeah. I guess that we can. The only thing that we can glean from this regarding the movie is that there is no anti-Chinese propaganda and there are no same-sex relationships in the movie because China don't play with that stuff.
Nope, it's gonna ruin their country if they see 2 men kissing.
Yeah, I guess.
Stupid. Grow up, China.
And Russia.
Yeah, whatever.
And a lot of people here too.
Yeah, that's fair.
I
can't see it. How do I explain it to my kids? I don't know. Turn to them and say it's cool. I'm like, all right, cool. Just like I do to my daughter. And she's like, all right, look, the book has 2 daddies. Who gives a shit? Like next page. What the fuck?
All right. I'm not super amped yet I think maybe I'll be amped. It's a month away. Maybe I'll be amped in March.
I am,
but
amped.
I'm not super amped for the Batman just yet. I'm seeing toys, right? I'm seeing all the toys, and I'm hesitant to buy them. One, because they're McFarlane figures, and McFarlane figures are kind of weird sometimes. And two, I'm just not like, I'm not into it yet. But
yeah, that's fair.
We'll see.
Yeah, I am, however, amped about this. And this is one of, I think, this is DC's first big movie of the year. Or is their first movie of the year. If this is a hit, it gives them good momentum going into The Flash, Aquaman, and Black Adam. Like, I hope this hits well, and I hope it does really great numbers, but I hope, like, even more than that, I don't even give a fuck about the money. I hope that it's a really good movie. Like, at the end of the day, I don't care if it makes $4 or $400 million. I just hope that it's a great movie. And by all accounts, even though some people are just really trying to convince themselves about weird fucking narratives about this movie, it looks good. It looks really good. So it's okay if certain things are not whatever. Like, it's fucking stupid to me, but it just shit doesn't make any sense. But like, just watch the damn movies and stop trying to come up with a reason not to like a movie before you see it. It's just weird. It's like, opinions don't make any sense. But on that, Matt Reeves wants to create a Batverse following the Batman. Which, good. That's fine. It's great.
Look, I'll bet. Like, look what happened with Peacemaker and Suicide Squad. Yeah, I bet. Like, if you got more stories to tell them. Go ahead and do it. I mean, I know Batman's been done to death, but if this Batman is as good as I think it probably will be, then yeah, I'm gonna want to see some other stuff. Like, the most interesting thing about this new Batman to me is Catwoman. I'm very curious to see what Zoe Kravitz does for this role.
Yeah.
I think she looks awesome.
Yeah.
That is the character that I'm kind of most interested in. Batman, I've seen enough of Batman in multiple mediums, and I've read enough Batman. I kind of get what they're going to do with Batman, right? I think the Riddler being like this Zodiac killer thing is something that people have been craving for a very long time. That's the second most interesting character. That's the second character I'm most interested in. Penguin. I mean, look, Penguin's a gangster. I don't expect to be blown away by what's his face's performance, and Andy Serkis as Alfred just seems odd to me.
It's an odd choice.
Alfred was a spy, and Andy Serkis, like, I love the guy, but he seems like a thug. You know what I mean? Like,
I would make the argument that a prominent spy franchise right now is that version is kind of a thug, and you love that.
Look what happened to him. Look what happened to him. Look what happened to him at the end.
I don't know what happened.
I haven't
seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay, I won't tell you what happened to him, but yeah.
Yeah, that guy's a thug. He's been a thug since Casino Royale. Get out of here.
Look,
throwing people into urinals. He's a thug.
He is thug Bond, but he's also got the stature to be a thug. Andy Serkis looks like a crazy old drunk.
Okay, well, I mean, a lot of thugs are crazy old drunks. I feel like that's probably probably a fair comparison.
Look, you're fair. I mean, look, that's right. I mean, when you're right, you're right. When you're right, you're right.
It's like, I don't know. That seems to work for me. Look, I think Zoe Kravitz, I think that actually is a good point. I mean, yeah, obviously we've seen Batman done before. Like, we've never seen sort of year 2 Batman. That's kind of an interesting thing, right? Like, we've only seen that, like, sort of touched on. But to see a full movie of that character in year 2 is kind of dope. And and also like being like still fucked up, right? Like not like knowing everything and like being super fucking cool, but like still like learning on the job. Like they touched on that in the Bale movies a little bit, but then like he got to being like the badass Batman that you wanted like pretty quickly after that. So I am looking forward to a Catwoman that I actually like. Like I liked Michelle Pfeiffer, but I don't like that movie. I don't like Batman Returns.
That supernatural thing was weird, right? Like she literally had 9 lives, and it was, and yeah, she was off her rocker, right? Like she was,
and she was
crazy.
Great. Don't get me wrong, Michelle Pfeiffer rocked that fucking role. She was awesome, but I want to see cat burglar, badass Catwoman. We've never had it. We've had like absolutely crazy Catwoman, which again Michelle Pfeiffer did a great job. We've had what's her face as Catwoman in the Bale movies, which I was not that big of a fan of. Like I just wasn't a fan of it. I didn't like it.
Yeah,
I didn't like it. So it's nice to actually see her like in the mask, like that looks like. She looks like a burglar, right? Like she actually is like throwing kicks and it looks legit and shit like that. That's what I want.
It's not a bunch of high tech bullshit, right? Like with the Anne Hathaway Catwoman.
Thank you, Anne Hathaway.
It just
I forgot it. Blanked on her name.
It's like she looks like a damn cat burglar.
Right.
I'm very curious. I'm very curious about her character, and of course the Riddler.
Right. And look, after seeing Kimmy, like starring Zoe Kravitz, like she can, like whatever I think of that movie, spoiler alert, she was very good in it, right? I was really disappointed actually. Like, I really like Steven Soderbergh. I'm like, this was like, it was like 2/3 of a good movie, and I was like, oh, this is the last act. We just don't give a shit. All right, that's cool. Me either. But she was very good in it. Like she held her own in those scenes, especially the scenes of like her dealing with agoraphobia. Like she's a pretty good actress. So I'm looking forward to her really standing toe to toe with Batman in these movies. I think that's going to be great. Also, yeah, your point about the Riddler is going to be great because look, Paul Dano is an amazing actor, and like. Whatever you want to think of any of these Batman movies, they are made or broken by their villains, the quality of their villains. So, yeah. But look, Matt Reeves says that he wants to make a Batverse. He says, quote, what I really wanted this movie to do is create a Batverse. You don't do a story and go, this is chapter 1 because you might not get a chapter 2. So the story had to stand on its own. But the thing about it is that the Bat world is so rich with character that as you're starting to come to the end, you're already starting thinking about the next thing. Because of that idea, of course, it's Gotham story is that Gotham story never ends. Look, obviously they're doing a GCPD story, which apparently is going to involve the Penguin as well, which is cool. I have a feeling it'll be a tad bit better than the Gotham TV show on Fox. So that's cool. But yeah, like round out the series, man. Like there's a lot of characters in the Batverse that are really interesting. Like, like, I mean, I know that Reeves has said he wants to make this like more grounded and stuff like that, which is fine. I don't really give a shit. But like use some of these series to kind of like branch out some other stuff. Like he said that he wants to do Mr. Freeze.
I bet.
Mr. Freeze, I think, would be a really fun one to do where you take it serious.
Yeah. Like, look, that episode of the animated series won an Emmy.
Yeah, it did.
His Mr. Freeze's origin story. It won an Emmy, man. Like you can and that villain was, he was basically Captain Cold for Batman. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like before,
he's ludicrous.
Before all that, right? Like it was a ridiculous premise, but that is something that I would love to see. So someone not from Austria doing a bunch of cold puns.
I mean, I'm gonna need like one cold pun. I'm gonna need one. No, I'm gonna need one.
Nope.
Chill.
Any. Chill. What happened to the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Shut up, yo. Shut up.
Whoever was in charge of casting should
Jesus Christ.
Like they should be thrown into traffic. Like for real, dude.
I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, yo. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, but goddamn, yo.
As Victor Freeze? How? They were just like, I don't know, man. We need somebody to get people to watch this bullshit ass movie. How about Arnold Schwarzenegger? All right, that's fine. Let's give him like bunny slippers at one point. All right, cool. Fuck it. Who cares? Like that's fine. But yeah, I look forward to seeing what they do with this.
You mentioned this Batverse. There's something I want to talk to you about after the show, since we're not talking about certain things in Peacemaker.
Okay,
but somebody wasn't there.
Oh no, I can answer that. But I can answer that after the show. Gunn. Right. Actually, I actually have a quote for that. Gunn addressed that. Okay. By the way, you're an asshole. 2 people weren't there, but you didn't even think about the other person, did you? You didn't think about him because you're a racist. You're racist. By the way, I didn't think about that person until I read the quote. I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
I didn't think about him until you just said it.
I know. Nobody did. Because nobody
cared. It took
cared.
me a second. I was like, who was it? And I had to look at my toys over there. Oh,
right.
That person's not there.
Oh, sad. Get out of here. Rockmond Dunbar sues Disney for discrimination over vaccine mandate that led to his 911, I guess that's a TV show, exit. Rockmond Dunbar, most famous for backhanding a woman across a diner counter, who abruptly exited a role. Yeah, that's one of the greatest backhands of all time. Knock it off. Who abruptly exited the role on Fox's hit drama 911 in November over a COVID vaccine mandate on the show, has sued the series production company 20th Television and its parent company Disney, claiming the studio engaged in discrimination, including mocking his religious beliefs, barring him from the set, and hampering his ability to get other work. You buying this? You buying it?
No.
Is Rockmond Dunbar correct?
No, I think this is one of those situations where somebody ain't getting work, and now they got to come after. They're scrambling. They're scrambling.
That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, I don't think this dude has a case, and I wish him nothing but the best. He looks kind of like a black Ryback for all you wrestling fans.
He does. I know.
But yeah, I don't think he's done anything after he left 911. I'm looking at his Wikipedia. And I don't think I think he kind of blackballed himself. And,
yeah, I think that might be your fault, bruh. Like,
yeah,
that's on you.
Yeah, I mean, did he make a big stink of it? Like, well, I'm leaving because I don't want. Like, if he just, kinda,
kinda.
I mean, if he just kind of quietly left the show, then I don't know if he would be in the predicament that he's in, but.
If I recall, they did not write it so that he can't return. If I recall, like he didn't die or something. Like I don't watch the show, but I'm pretty sure I remember reading that when we talked about this originally. Somebody who watches 9/11 or 911, they could tell us for sure. Look, if McDonald's says that you need like. If they have a sign that says no shoes, no shirt, no service, like you can't walk in with no shoes and no shirt and be mad that they won't sell you a Big Mac. My job has a COVID vaccine mandate. Like you can't work for them if you like aren't vaccinated.
You are not owed a job, yo. Like
you're not.
You're not. You are not the go. Like
it'd be cool if you were.
Nah, yo.
But you're not.
Right. But you're not, not in this, not in this country with the systems that we have in place.
Nope.
And, I just, all right, man.
Like,
all right.
Like, you don't have to
I'm so sick of it.
Like, here's the thing. I get, again, I don't agree with it, but I get not being pleased that there are mandates at a company for vaccines. I get that, right? Like, again, I don't have to agree with you to understand your perspective, right? And be like, I think it's unfair. I shouldn't have to do this. Okay, I get that. But you, like, just like you aren't pleased about it, they aren't pleased that you're willing to bring in make people possibly sick. So their perspective is they are protecting their bottom line. We want people to be vaccinated so that we don't hopefully have less outbreaks and less, severe issues. By the way, you work for us, so we probably pay your insurance and things like that, which if you die or you have some severe illness, we got to pay as a company. They don't want that shit. So I get their perspective as a company. I get your perspective as an employee. You don't have to work there. Go work for someone else. Oh, you mean to tell me all the major studios are also having these mandates? Did you do any of your research before quitting your job? You probably should have. This is going to be a thing for a while, dude. For a while.
Yeah, man.
And also, there's nothing in your religion that tells you that you can't get vaccinated. Unless you're a Christian Scientist or maybe a Jehovah's Witness. If you're a Christian, like a regular card-carrying Christian, you're full of shit. You just don't want to get it. And that's fine. Just say you don't want to get it. It has nothing to do with your religion. It just doesn't. I'm pretty sure.
Just say you're scared. Just say you're scared.
Scared. Dude, when I got my booster shot, I went to like a CVS or something to get my booster shot. And I talked to the woman that was there. It's like a young black chick. She was like roughly my age. And I said, how many of these do you do a day? And she was like, I don't know. We probably do like 200. We've been doing like 200 a day, right? This was like a real height of when people were getting boosted. And I said, and she was like, oh, are you okay with needles? I was like, yeah, that doesn't bother me. And she was like, yeah, it's interesting. The people who are the most scared are mostly guys. Yeah. And I said, that makes sense. And that's why I think a lot of you motherfuckers are just afraid of needles. I truly believe that.
I truly believe that. You're just scared. Just say you're scared. I'm waiting for one of them to just say that they are afraid.
Yeah, I don't like needles. Just say I don't like needles.
But until you do, like, no, it's a bunch of bullshit, yo. It's a bunch of bullshit because you've gotten vaccinations when you were a child.
Yeah,
you just don't remember them, but you've been vaccinated for multiple diseases multiple times.
No, yo, I've been immunized, Micah. Immunized. Not vaccinated.
Part of it is the thing that Americans have of ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do, right? Like,
all right, cool. Don't get a job then.
All right. And part of it is that people are scared, and people are scared not because they feel like the disease, not because they feel like the vaccination is going to give them something or whatever. Like you're just scared to take it. You're scared to take it. Yeah, I get it. I used to be scared of needles when I was a bitch ass child, but like
bitch ass child.
But like you grown, man. Like just.
I truly believe that's a lot of it. It's just a lot of dudes are just like, I know it is.
I know it is. And male ego. Nobody's gonna admit that they're afraid of a fucking needle.
Just afraid of. It takes 4 seconds. Like,
they do it so well, you don't even feel it. Like you don't even feel it. You don't have to look at it go into your body. Like it's just, I don't know, man.
People will eat 4 Big Macs in a day, or eat a hot dog, but won't get a vaccination. That's weird to me, dude. It's weird to me. Oh, what's in that? I don't know. Yo, this new Baconator is the shit. Like, you gonna die. Right. You gonna die eating that shit.
Niggas will eat the Luther, but won't get a fucking needle.
Yo, you guys will eat fucking chitlins, but you won't get a vaccination, yo.
Yo, that is just the worst. That is the worst.
I will not eat that. I will not.
No, I don't eat slave food. I don't eat slave food, guys. I don't eat slave food.
He eats slave food.
No, I don't. Nigga,
you don't eat cornbread? You don't eat cornbread?
Cornbread ain't slave food.
Nah, they ain't give us no cornbread. Chicken backs.
I don't even know. I don't even know if they no. I refuse to believe that white people invented cornbread. Get out of here.
Fuck no. Knock
No,
that off.
they ain't invent that shit.
It tastes way too good. I just disagree. It was probably us, maybe Indians. That's it. Get out of here. Yeah, I know. I think largely Rockmond Dunbar's case is bullshit. It's not because I don't like the guy. I think he's fine. He's on Soul Food. Again, I respect his backhand immensely, but like, I just, I think it's bullshit. I think, like, look, dude, you're not owed a job. I think that you quit that job and you thought you was gonna have some other shit lined up, and like you say, he's panicking. Like, oh shit, ain't nothing out here.
That's all.
Yeah. Just get the vaccine, dude. Just get the vaccine. Look, if you don't want to get the vaccine, then you just got to chill until that shit comes, like, until it is no longer an issue where companies are like, it's not a big deal if you have it or not. And I don't know that we're ever going to get there. So you just fucked. Or
do what Twitter financial consultants do and tell you to do, and just get $500, get an LLC, and start your own company. It's easy.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to get the vaccine, Rockman. Like, yo, if you want a real job, yo, I'm gonna need you to do that. Like, knock it off. You're gonna end up in some fucking bullshit movie with Gina Carano next to a bunch of prospectors or whatever I saw the other day. Get the fuck out of here. Go back and get your real job back at Fox. Knock it off. Get a real paycheck. Come on, man. Don't ruin your career on some bullshit, man. But for real, don't ruin your career on some bullshit. Just don't. If you're scared to get a needle, like, get somebody to go with you. Look. You want to make sure that the needle don't hurt. Do this. Just pinch your arm. Just pinch your arm a little bit. You won't even feel it. Just pinch your arm. You'll be all right. You'll be all right, Rockman. It's cool. Don't worry about it. But don't ruin your career on some bullshit, man. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. And look, if you really are like, my religion says I can't do it, all right, cool. Then you just don't work in Hollywood anymore. And look, I can respect that if you're being honest. I can respect it. But you don't need to sue anybody then.
Right.
What you suing somebody for? I don't want to work for them. Okay. They don't want you to work for them either. I think we found a solution. Like, done and done. All right. What the fuck brought to you by JTD? Micah, take it away.
A man may never be Jesus. A man may never be able to use his penis again after his partner accidentally used expanding foam inside his urethra in their efforts to keep him erect during sex.
No. Accidentally? I just bought spray foam the other day. I've never accidentally used it anywhere.
Oops.
I thought it was the non-expanding foam. How, dude? It's got a long straw you screw on. It's a one-time use. Nah, yo, don't do it. Come on,
Accidentally used it to keep them erect. Accidentally used the expanding foam. They accidentally used something in order to do the thing that they wanted it to do. Okay.
That's weird. It's weird, the coincidence. It's weird. Shut up.
The 45-year-old patient from some country was struggling with impotence and had been putting different items into the opening of his penis in a bid to stay firm. But his latest attempt ended in horror when his partner tried to use the straw of the can of insulation spray to keep him erect.
Oh, it's just the straw. The straw. They didn't actually spray the foam in there?
No, you use the straw to spray the foam in.
Don't do that.
The unidentified partner says she accidentally hit the button on top of the can, sending the foam into his penis where it hardened and became, quote, anchored to his genitals. The doctors had to cut a new opening between the man's scrotum and his anus. The perineum, I believe that is called.
Yo,
to
come on,
urinate.
dude.
and
In his
said he
taint,
must pass
the taint,
and
the
and
taint.
said he must pass a psychiatric test in order to qualify for reconstructive surgery. They're
No,
showing
both
the
of them.
phone.
Both of them got to take that test. Both of them got to take that test. Knock it off. She's fucking
the man
nuts
was
too.
left. The man was left with several masses measuring up to 4 inches with his penis and bladder after the foam meant for home insulation had hardened. Urologist said the man waited 3 weeks before seeking a doctor and only went for treatment.
3 weeks. 3 weeks.
After finding it increasingly difficult to urinate.
You don't say. You don't say. 3 weeks.
Where did this
Jesus.
take place, Jay? Where did this take place?
At our local Home Depot? I don't know. What the fuck?
You know what? I'm going to take that answer, and our local Home Depot is correct because this happened in the good old United States of America.
You goddamn right it
They
did.
don't give a state. They don't give a state,
You're
but
goddamn
God, I
right.
wish they did.
You know it starts with an F and ends in Florida. Like, get out of here, dude. Come on, man. Come on. Spray foam. Spray foam.
They show pictures of the foam. They show pictures of the foam in.
Does it show the brand? Does it show the brand?
No, just the actual foam itself.
Oh my god! So the yellow foam? The yellow?
Right.
Hold on, let me hold
on. Yeah, well, it's red.
Oh yeah, I bet it is red. Fuck. Jesus, dude. Oh my god. Does his penis work anymore?
He had to get it reconstructed. So I guess it works now. I guess.
Wow. He looks like he's got red hot Cheetos pulled out of his dick.
Right. They go into more detail that I'm not going to get into, but
thank you.
Yeah. When you're sounding, don't make sure not to put expanding foam in your. Yeah, oof, Jesus Christ.
Dude, that's a bad idea, man. That's bad idea genes, man. Like, don't do that.
Look, man, look. Let me be a lesson to you. Just get yourself some Mojo Rising and you'll be all good.
The local gas station or Amazon. You can buy it on Amazon.
Yeah. You can buy it on Amazon. Hell, on your way to the Home Depot to get that fucking insulation, I'm sure you'll pass a gas station. Gas stations have a litany of dick pills. I have no idea why, but they have just a smorgasbord of dick pills are in gas stations.
But the question is, what kind of a psychopath goes into a gas station and buys it more than once? More than once. That they can come onto a podcast and recommend, even though
First of all, it was given to me. The first one was given to me, and second of all, I got the subsequent ones from Amazon. So yeah, but they started being like $5 a pill, and I was like, well, fuck this.
No, but look, because you sounded. No, you sounded like wow reasonable. You sounded wow reasonable. And that's bullshit because you're not. For those of you who don't sign up for premium content, like I told, and I won't tell the whole story because the whole story is fucking hysterical. But you had an allergic reaction to the pills. They worked. But didn't your face get like super like puffy or whatever?
The face gets flush with blood because blood is going all over the place. Like it doesn't know what to do. Your heart is pumping out a bunch of blood and shit. And my face got puffy and it felt like a pre-workout, but like to the extreme. Like I had never felt anything like it before. Like I'm not like super dark, but I'm not light skinned.
Right.
I was red, dude. Like you could literally see my face, my entire head just turn red.
But that was the first time you used it. That's the first time you used it.
Yeah.
How many times did you use it in total?
I built up an immunity to it.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. That should happen to your stupid ass.
I used it more than once. I used it more than once. Look, I didn't say I didn't say I built up an immediate immunity to it. No, that's not how things work. Like we were talking about before the show, change happens in increments. Right? Like,
that's fair.
It doesn't just happen.
Yo, that's insane. Oh my! I have never taken any gas-station pharmacology. I've never decided to do that. The only thing I've used as a enhancement is weed, and that works. Yeah, that works.
So there you go.
You're insane. You are insane. Holy shit. That story. I will never forget that until the day I die. I will never forget that. If you die before me, I will see it as my duty to get Mojo Rise and put on your tombstone for some fucking reason. If I have to carve it there my fucking self.
No, what you got to do is you got to do like they do in like poetry, right? Where it's just like describe different things about me, but the first letter of each of the things that describe me spells Mojo
Rise. I will do that. That's a very good way of doing it. I'll read a haiku at your funeral. Micah's dead. Mojo was rising. What a shame, or whatever. I don't remember what the syllable count is. Holy shit. My story, which is definitely not going to be as good as that. Like your personal story is worse than most what the fuck stories. It's actually more insane. 37-year-old virgin, of course, gets 6-foot string stuck in penis during botched sex game. I guess that was by mistake too. All right, this is from the New York Post. That doesn't mean it's in the New York. That doesn't mean it happened in New York. So expect some pretty solid but very ignorant ass puns written into this article. His attempt to thread the needle went horribly awry. All right.
So, we're starting off swinging. All right.
I fucking hate the Post. It's the worst. 37-year-old virgin made the world wince after getting a 6 foot of string lodged in his penis during a botched attempt at sexual gratification. A case study detailing the backfired sex stunt recently surfaced in a medical journal. The patient was diagnosed with urinary bladder foreign body, per the report, which concerned a unmarried man from a certain country who had never had sexual intercourse and lived with his mother. According to the study, the phallic fiasco began after the unnamed kinkster inserted a long nylon string used for beads into his urethra while fully erect and watching a pornographic video. Don't do that. Just don't do that.
This feels like China.
That's a good guess. Indonesia.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The man subsequently reported to a hospital after experiencing troubling symptoms, including difficulty urinating, shocking news, passing blood in his urine, shocking news, and severe abdominal pain lasting 2 hours, shocking news. That's what happens when you put a fucking string up your dick. Like, yeah. That's, wow. They used a catheter to flush the urine pouch with sterile fluid, but that was unsuccessful. Doctors then decided to get a closer look at the obstruction by inserting a camera into the bladder. The scan shows a black bundle of nylon string. Following a surgery, the man kept under observation for 2 days at the hospital, whereupon he made a full recovery. So congratulations to him. So don't worry, gentlemen. You can still stick a 6-foot nylon string in your penis and live to talk about it.
I mean, the two, I mean,
my guy was definitely making better decisions.
One clearly is smarter than the other one.
And it ain't saying much.
No, it's not. It
Dude,
really is.
spray foam is crazy. Crazy. We took some blinds down in my house, in my bedroom, that left a gap in just the way they were assembled, like left a gap in the window where cold air was coming in. We use expanding spray foam in that. I'm not putting that in my penis. Why? Just take a Cialis pill, dude. Just take a Cialis pill. They're pretty inexpensive, I think. Get a Blue Chew, right? You can just buy that shit on the internet now. Like, you don't even need a prescription. The fuck you going to Home Depot just spraying random shit in your dick? Also, spray foam is expensive. That's a one-shot deal, right? Like, you can't reuse it.
I mean, that's how you know it works, because it's expensive, right? Well, this has got to work. This costs a lot of money.
Well, so do your medical bills. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. God damn, what a fucking fool you are. All right, let's move into trailers this week before we get out of here. First up, Our Flags Mean Death. This is the new Taika Waititi show, which looks pretty interesting, I would say. It's a comedy where a guy who wants to be a pirate, like in olden times, he decides to like hang out with Taika Waititi, who is playing Blackbeard, and it looks utterly ridiculous. This is an HBO Max original series. Like, what do you think?
You know, in the great war, in the great debate that is pirates versus ninjas, I'm always team ninja, but pirates just don't do it for me. I would. This looks interesting. It looks funny, but I'm gonna wait for people to tell me that this is worth my time before I invest any time into this. Or, you know, if my wife wants to watch it, then I'll watch it. But I don't know if I'm gonna seek this out, you know, just on my own. And it's no slight against like Taika Waititi. I think Taika Waititi's incredibly talented and really, really funny. But it just,
it's not a genre
cool,
you're into.
It's not something I'm into. So
we'll see. Like I'm getting sort of like What We Do in the Shadows kind of vibes, which makes sense, right? So yeah, well, you know, I'll check it out. And see if I like it. I mean, there's a lot of like kind of big names doing some cameos in this, which is cool. Obviously Taika Waititi, but Leslie Jones, Fred Emerson, which is cool. So
yeah. So
we shall see. Next up, as I waste time to find this file, let's go with the World Needs Heroes, the
sizzle reel from WB. So this thing is basically just like, hey, here's an advertisement for 4 of the DC films that we are going to come up with this year.
Yeah, look, I'm okay with that. Look, I think this looks interesting. I'm trying to queue it up now. Sorry about that, but so the movies are the Batman, Black Adam, The Flash, and Aquaman. And as we were saying earlier, I'm glad that DC is kind of away from Snyder. Like, Snyder's influence is going to permeate throughout the whatever like DC films that they try to like tie back to this, right? Yeah.
But once again, the look of the thing wasn't the problem. The actors weren't the problem. The problem was the storytelling.
Right.
I am hoping that I'm pretty sure the storytelling in The Batman is going to be great.
Yeah.
I'm a little iffy on some of these other ones. But you know, The Flash, I'm very interested in. Aquaman, I thought that first Aquaman movie was fine, but I'm in no rush to go out and see the sequel. Black Adam, I mean, we give The Rock a hard time. I just don't know about this movie. I don't know anything about this movie. I don't know how to feel about it yet.
I need to see
a full-fledged trailer.
I need to see a story trailer, not a bunch of sizzle reel shots like of an action trailer. I need to see a story trailer where I hear like, what is the narrative of this movie? That's what I want to see.
Yeah. I get it. He was a slave. And now he drinks Terramana tequila. I get it. But
he's gonna drink that tequila in that movie, right? Like, you're aware of that. Like, that's definitely gonna happen.
He better not. I don't want to see anything else that The Rock is branding in this movie. The Rock is in very serious danger of being the guy who lives long enough to see himself become the villain.
Yep.
And it's already kind of happening. Like, when he was at the Super Bowl, like, I've seen people comment like, ugh, right? Like, you got to make people miss you, man. Like, you got to make people miss you. But we'll see. Like you said, I have no idea what this story is going to be outside of like, Black Adam's a badass, right? Like, no shit. Guess what? Fucking little scrawny ass Batman is a badass too. But like we said earlier, this has the potential to be the best year when it comes to these DC properties.
Yep, absolutely.
These things could hit, and they could hit big.
I mean, look, never forget, Aquaman made $1 billion, dude. Aquaman was a legitimate hit. Like, it wasn't a critical hit, but it was a fan hit. People liked it. Like, people enjoyed it.
I liked it enough. There were things that I could change, but there are things that I can change about every movie. Like, I wouldn't put Pitbull singing Africa in it.
Nigga, never. That was like the worst choice. I don't know what they were thinking in that part, but yes. But like, I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. It was fun.
It was
great,
fun.
But
it was fun, disposable. It was a disposable fun that I wouldn't keep in my collection, but I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed Jason Momoa in it.
Yep.
The Batman, I mean, that's far and away going to be the best of these movies. I think so. And I think The Flash has the potential to be the second best of these films.
Yep, I agree. What do you think of the look of Hawkman? We get a moment of him, and Dr. Fate.
I think Dr. Fate looks amazing.
I really do. I think that costume looks dope as shit. Apparently, it's like mostly CGI, which is interesting.
I can tell because one, it's Pierce Brosnan, right? Like, I mean, of course, you could put a body double in it, but no, it looks like it's CGI. But the CGI in this doesn't look horrible.
No, it doesn't.
At least not. So Dr. Fate, I think, looks amazing. Hawkman, like our buddy Demetrius is going to be. Oh, I don't know if I should say it, but he's going to be cosplaying as Hawkman soon, and it looks like he looks like that image, right? But Dr. Fate. So I'm saying that Hawkman looks like a very good elaborate cosplay.
Yeah,
but Dr. Fate looks amazing. Black Adam looks fine. I for the life of me, I don't understand why they keep like nobody seems to know how cloth works in movies. Like,
what do you mean?
Like, when he's wearing the cloak kind of looks like it's moving, but like in an epic, majestic way.
Right. For no reason. Yeah, for no
reason. Like, the Superman cape did the same thing. It did it worse. It did it way worse. Like, that thing looked like it was sentient. It was just fucking moving.
It was like Doctor Strange's cape. Like, for the most part.
And it was like, and it looked like it was thick and heavy. So it was also light. I don't know. It just looked very odd to me. Like, cloth doesn't move like that, but
it's not. But the problem is, it's not as interesting if it's just draped and it's just
just draped over you. Yeah. Like, I get it. Like, I understand, but like, yo, nigga, a fan's blowing all the time. Like,
that seems odd. That seems odd. Yeah, look, I agree with you. I mean, I think the Batman is likely to be the best of all of them. I think the Flash does have the potential to be really interesting. Like, I think, like, I saw how people reacted, sort of the Snyder sycophants, as I would call them, reacted to the end of Peacemaker because, like, they hate everything that is not a Zack Snyder DC thing, which is weird and fucking odd to me. But grow up. But like the other part is I'm interested to see what the reaction is to Flashpoint, because I still don't think people realize, like, if you go back and watch that first trailer, there's two Barrys standing next to each other, and one of them acts like the one from the Snyder movies, and the main one does not. And I think that the movie is about a different Barry. Like, look in that image that was just up there, Barry is standing behind him. I don't think the Barry that you're seeing the vast majority of is the same Barry from the Zack Snyder movies. I don't think so. That, like, frenetic, like, crazy one, gone, dude. They're done with that one. That's my guess. And they're going to completely change that personality by picking a completely different character and just being like, we're done. So it's gonna be interesting if what comes out of that is that the DCEU that you meet afterwards is like all of the events are very similar, but that Barry is a different Barry, and it's just like, so we're not dealing. The Snyderverse exists and it stays as it is. We're just never going to visit it again. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting, but I think that's going to piss people off, and I don't care. I hope you are mad, because we need to move on for those fucking shit movies. Just quickly, look, I think I don't like necessarily the color palette for Black Adam. It feels like weirdly over bright and also washed out. I don't know how they accomplished that, but I'm just like, this. It looks like overproduced, like NBC schlock, right? I'm sure you understand what that means. I don't know if everyone does.
I know exactly what you mean. It looks like that NBC superhero show from a while back. Like, right. NBC has a certain, like, sheen to it that everything looks a little too clean, even when they're trying to make it look dirty. Yeah, it's way overproduced, and that's my only, like, negative about that is it looks overproduced, but it looks like they shot everything in what an American cinematographer thinks Mexico looks like.
Right, it's like sepia tone. It's like, oh, we're in Mexico, turn on the sepia, man. We can't see anything. It's so dark, or so sandy. So I'm hoping that that's just maybe those few scenes that we saw, and that's not how the movie actually looks. But that's my only real negative about it. Like, I don't think it looks horrible. But again, I need to see an actual trailer. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get one soon. I have to imagine, like, they got enough sizzle reel for this. So, like, show us something. Like, I don't even know when that movie's coming out. I honestly, it's not even on my radar for a date, but I assume it's sometime like in the dead of summer. So we'll see.
Probably. Yeah.
All right. So next up, let's talk about, let's get back to, normal. Thank you. Let's talk about Nope. This is the new Jordan Peele, trailer. Look, I hope it's good. I think it will be good. But I'm having a hard time getting a sense of what it even is. And I think that's okay, because I don't think this trailer is really supposed to, like, give us that much information. Like, what are your thoughts? Besides it being some sort of alien invasion.
Yeah, I think it's an alien invasion movie. I think that's all you really need to know at this point. Right. Especially with this type of movie. Yeah, I there's not much to go on other than the fact that it looks incredibly interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see what Jordan Peele's take on an alien invasion is. I'm a little upset that I think that's Keke Palmer said nah instead of nope.
Right, like that feels like. But maybe they're saving that for a bigger moment. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, it looks interesting. I'm gonna always give this dude the benefit of the doubt because he hasn't steered me wrong yet in his 2 outings. What I am afraid for is the discourse around it, where everyone is going to be like, "Well, it's no Get Out," and I'm like,
doesn't have to be.
Like I'm like, part of me wishes that movie didn't hit as well as it did, because like now everyone is just going to be comparing it to that. But
yeah,
I think this is Jordan Peele's version of War of the Worlds, and
interesting. Okay.
And I hope that these aliens don't be defeated by water. That's really all I'm hoping for at this point.
Yeah,
water or air or whatever the fuck.
Something very like common. Look, I'm very interested to see what they do. Or see what he does. Look, once again, he's going with Daniel Kaluuya as the as one of the leads. Look, I like Keke Palmer as well. Yeah, okay. Like you said, like I haven't been steered wrong in the last 2 outings. I liked Us a lot. I think people didn't give that movie a chance because they were too busy not watching it and seeing how it connected to Get Out, and just being ridiculous. And like you said, like I wish Get Out didn't hit as well as it did, because it makes his other movies so difficult to be given a chance, because so many people are just comparing or looking for connections and all. I'm like, just watch the movie. Just watch the movie for what it is. And I think if people actually went back and watched Us for what it is and stopped comparing it, I think you'd actually enjoy it a lot more. Like, I think that movie is very good. And it had a lot to say. So, I'm hoping Nope, hits just as well. Like if it hits as well as Us, that's great. If it hits as well as Get Out, even better. But I think the guy's got super talent, man. Like I really do. But I like his take on just the horror genre. Like it's just kind of fun.
Yeah, something different.
Yeah, it's nice to see. And it's got Stephen Yeun, also from The Walking Dead, which is dope. Like we're just getting just people of color, which is I'm always a fan of, just to get to see them doing what they do. That's great.
Yeah.
Last but certainly not least, we get the trailer for Doctor Strange into the Multiverse of Madness. Look, I mean, what else can I say except for this trailer looks fucking dope as shit? Like, what else do you want me to say?
I've always beat the drum for Doctor Strange in the MCU. I absolutely love that first movie. This second movie, I was super curious to see what they would do in the second movie. This blew every expectation that I possibly could have out of the water. And I'm trying my best to not get like too excited of trying my best to not like head canonize what I think is going to happen. Mm-hmm. And I know like that's part of the fun in this. But not that I would be disappointed or whatever, but this looks so good. This looks so good. The only issue that it's not really an issue, right? Because it's part of the fun, but I don't want this to be the Iron Man 2 to the first movie's Iron Man, right?
That's a good point.
I don't want this to be just setups for something else and setups for something else. I need this story. This story can affect the world at large, but don't focus on Patrick Stewart. Don't like he's there.
How do you know that's Patrick Stewart? It could be anybody.
You're right. Don't focus on Jean-Luc Picard.
There you go. There's a twist.
Hold your asses, didn't right. He's there, but like, don't do too many winks and nods if it doesn't serve the story that you're trying to tell.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only thing that I'm not worried about, but that's my only concern. Yeah, it's not even really a concern. But
look, I mean, I think they've learned I think they've learned a lot from Iron Man 2, obviously. But yes, I agree with you. Don't use this as like set up for this, set up for this, set up for this, set up for this. Right. That makes sense. That being said, God damn, this is a good looking trailer, man. Like it's very, very good. But we have to do what we have to do, which is wild speculation. Like, all right, come on, man.
Sure.
All right, let's do it. We get Patrick Stewart clearly. Like, I love when people are like, I don't know, who could that be? Dude, I've watched enough Star Trek. I've been a nerd my whole life. I know Patrick Stewart's voice as much as I know my own mother's voice, dude. Get the entire fuck out of here. I was like, yeah, obviously that's who it is. Like, obvious, right?
Right.
For them to reveal that Patrick Stewart is in this movie is a huge deal. And, you know, Cam in the fan group made a really good point, and I think I'm kind of running with this idea that we're getting this sort of Illuminati of the multiverse instead of the classic Illuminati, right, of Earth in the comics. But I think that the Illuminati is likely going to be seen as evil in our eyes, right, as the audience, right? I think they are going to be well-intentioned, and they're going to either want to put Strange down or Wanda down, or America Chavez down, one of the three, or all three of them, because of their universe hopping shit. And I think that is going to be the impetus for them to be the true villains of this movie. Thus making Patrick Stewart and whoever else is in the Illuminati, which we'll talk about, potentially not good guys. So it kind of works when you're like bringing them in, that they're not exactly how you remember, right? Like from the other movies, which helps to not sort of canonize all of those other movies into the MCU. Because I can tell you, they may want to canonize like the Netflix stuff, perhaps, or some of it. They don't want to canonize all that Fox shit into their stuff. There's no way they do.
Not the X-Men stuff.
That's what I mean.
Stuff. Maybe the Deadpool stuff eventually. Not the X-Men stuff.
Not the
X-Men stuff is just, the X-Men stuff is ridiculous. And it's the X-Men, yo. Like the X-Men are a pillar of Marvel. You know what I'm saying?
You can't afford to dump that shit in.
They're going to want to do their own versions of that. Patrick Stewart being there, I won't go as far as to say it's a boner joke. Like I think him being there, I think he is a Professor Xavier. Which one? Who knows? I want to know who else is in the Illuminati.
So when you look at that image, Mordo is one of the people who's walking in the background, right? Because you can see
the thing. He's got the sword
weapon
or whatever in his back. Yeah.
So he might be one of the members. Might be, right? Like, you don't know. He's just walking. He ain't sitting in the chair. One of the other people that has been speculated, and this is just pure speculation. We don't know anything. None of this has been confirmed. So don't worry about like, we're not confirmed, bro. It's definitely happening. So don't head canonize it or anything like that. The speculation is that one of them is Mr. Fantastic from those Fantastic Four movies. From Micah's favorite Fantastic Four movies.
What? Shut up.
I'm serious. That's one of the fan theories.
From one of the Tim Story movies?
Yes.
No, dude. No. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I mean, look, if he's a Mr. Fantastic, all right, whatever. Like, you can let.
No, but that's what I mean. He's a Mr. Fantastic, not the Mr. Fantastic for the MCU.
I think I think you can only pull that trick with Patrick Stewart. I really do. Nobody remembers those Tim Story movies but me. Nobody.
No, people do, man. People do.
People don't remember. They don't know who Ewan Rutherford is. They remember Chris Evans because he was Chris Evans, right?
Right.
But they don't. I think that trick only works with Professor Xavier. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying it would be.
It won't be as substantial.
It won't be as. It won't that's a hard act to follow, dude. That's a hard act to follow.
You're Patrick Stewart.
Maybe we should tell him the truth, right? And then you say, "Oh my God, it's fucking Jean-Luc Picard of the Starship Enterprise. He's back as Professor Xavier, and I'm Mr. Fantastic." That's a hard ass act to follow, yo. Come on, man!
Wow, the level of disrespect. The level of disrespect towards this man is insane.
Well, because he played a Reed Richards. Fuck him. You can't do that to that guy. But I like the idea. I like the idea of the John Watts Mr. Fantastic being in the Illuminati, and that's how he gets introduced into the MCU. I like that idea, and that casting, like, nobody knows who it is, right? There's been no casting or anything like that. I like the idea of introducing whatever big name. Let's just say it's John Krasinski because that's who everybody wants it to be, right?
Right.
I like the idea of John Krasinski being that Mr. Fantastic, and because Mr. Fantastic and Doctor Strange have a very cordial relationship, right? Like
right.
they're not like best buds or anything, but they're both doctors in their respective fields. But one is so rigid in the scientific method, and the other one has broken away from that
right.
to become Doctor Strange, right? Like they are yin and yang in terms of like smart people in the MCU. And I want to see that dynamic happen, right? I just don't want it to be, the Tim Story one, right? Like, be the MCU Mr. Fantastic, yo.
I mean, if they could hold that under wraps, like that would be dope. I would agree with you. It would be dope to see that. Like, that would just be, you film the entire movie and you know that you got that guy in your back pocket, and you do a secret filming with like 5 people on set and be like, come in, sit in for this, get it done like the day before the movie gets sent out. Like, you don't tell anyone. You don't tell anyone.
You don't tell anybody. Like, you do what you did with Spider-Man, right? Like, they didn't even let you see. They only let you see 40 minutes of No Way Home of the last Spider-Man movie before it got released, right? Because they didn't want shit spoiled, right? And all of this shit is basic sets and CG, right? You're not filming outside, right?
Yeah.
Do what you said. Get a skeleton crew in there to film your close-up shots, and just fucking, I want Mr. Fantastic to be there, but I want the MCU Mr. Fantastic to be there.
I mean, that would be a big move, right? Like, to break him in that, just so like, yeah, actually, like, here I'm, here to talk to you about the multiverse, but by the way, I am actually from your world. Like, oh shit,
right.
Like, yeah, that would be a big
and I don't know, man. I feel like you can do a lot. I feel like there's some storytelling opportunities that you can do there. I feel like it would be relatively easy to explain away why the Fantastic Four haven't been around, because Reed wants to keep his family away from all of this shit. So he's been keeping them hidden wherever the Illuminati is being held. They're the Illuminati. They can disappear if they need to disappear. Right. But now that things are going crazy, now the Fantastic Four have to come in to kind of make sure that, like you can do shit like this, man.
Yeah, that's actually that's a great explanation as to where they've been. Like, or they've been working to keep the multiverse at bay or
Right.
whatever.
But
like now things have
the
just
negative
broken
zone or
to shit.
whatever. Right. And things are just going crazy. Right. And
Right.
like they have to make their presence known. Like
Yeah.
and then you can always go back and, you know, your first movie or whatever could be like, well, here's the story of how we got there. I don't know. I'm not a writer.
Or don't, right?
Or
like,
don't. And
just have them be like,
go.
Yeah,
for
like this is just, it is what it is. So a couple other things that I think are interesting. Wanda, I think Wanda is going to be the villain of sorts for a part of this movie.
I think she's going to be a major antagonist in this movie.
Yeah. And
I won't say villain, I'll say antagonist.
Yeah, that's fair. Because I honestly think the Illuminati is going to end up being the bad guys. And again, I think they're going to have their position, which is like, we're doing the thing that's like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like, we need to put Wanda down because she's dangerous, which would be a House of M story. Right? Like that would be how they would play that. I wouldn't be surprised. So I think Wanda is going to be an interesting character in this, and we're clearly getting more than one Wanda. And this is me, myself personally, I feel as though, total speculation here, is that blood-soaked Wanda who you see standing over the like Wanda of our universe, like back in that little town or whatever, back at her house, I think that is obviously a different dimension. And I think that Wanda is likely to be one who didn't give up this town and has kept this town under her boot to keep her family still there with Vision and everything else. And I think that is going to be the universe where our Wanda, goes and plucks those kids out of there. And I think they're going to get aged up, and then she's going to pluck them out of there. And like, my guess is like that Wanda is like, I'm keeping my family safe. Meanwhile, it's like, you're kind of keeping them hostage and they're all miserable. Right? Like they're, you know, it's not a loving relationship. It's not fun. Our Wanda figures out how to pull those kids out. Maybe Vision is actually already dead, like in her universe, whatever. She pulls those kids out and brings them into our reality and our universe by the end of that movie. And that's where I could see a after credit scene where she's with those kids and here comes Vision. Right? Like, this is the movie Vision has to come back, right? It makes sense. He doesn't have to be there in the main story, but it would make sense in the after credits. He shows up. He's got all his memories back and everything else, and all the Ship of Theseus interactions with, you know, Ghost Dead Vision. And so now he's back. And he's had time to figure it out. And the last scene you see of him is he goes from white to the color that we know. I could totally see that. Like, it would make sense that she was able to go get the kids. She was able to do all this, finish out her story, let her deal with it. But in the end, after that, she gets Vision back. Right? Like, but he just tacks onto it. He doesn't come and save the day or anything like that. Like, in the end, I could totally see that. Or at least some sort of implication of that going to happen. But I think you need those kids to be the young Avengers. You need Wiccan and Speed. Like, so my guess is they're going to age them up, just like they did in the show. Like, they quite literally age them up in an episode. You could do that here. It's fine.
Yeah. So,
should be interesting. Also, I can't wait to see Sam Raimi's fucking Zombie Strange. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, man. Like,
that looks great.
Like, this looks like a Sam Raimi movie.
It does.
You know what I mean? Like, there's just enough. This looks like Sam Raimi towing the line of what he can get away with. One, within the confines of a PG-13, and two, within the confines of Marvel. Right? I've made the analogy before. Marvel is like, hey, you can color this whatever you want, just stay inside the lines. Yep. And it looks like he's bringing all of the fucking colors. Like, like he looks like this thing looks like it's going to be wild. Yo, what if is required viewing? Like what if something that I thought was going to be just kind of like, oh, okay, this is fun, throwaway, disposable. Nah, yo,
ain't none of those shows throwaway, yo. None of those shows are throwaway.
None of them. None of them are. None of them are.
Look, there is a moment, and you can see it better in some stills, when he's falling with America Chavez through the dimensions where he like starts like the little squares and shit, he starts breaking apart. Right before they break through the glass fully, they break through the world they broke, like where you see it's almost like the Savage Land or whatever they're over. Maybe that's what maybe that is the Savage Land. Who knows? But right at that scene, like a split second before that, if you look closely, the world they break out of into that Savage Land looking area is animated. Maybe people are speculating that maybe it's the X-Men 97 world, which would make that show, super interesting, right? And some people are speculating, again, these are all just fan speculations, which I think are kind of fun, is that the Professor X that you see is X-Men 97 Professor X, not the Fox, universe.
What a great way to introduce the X-Men without having to tell the fucking story. What a great way to do that. You can tell that story in the cartoon or whatever, right? If you want to, or yeah, man, that's a good idea to do it, man. That's a really good idea.
Because you can do anything in this. You can do anything. I mean, look, that's, by the way, that's not ludicrous, because the concept art, some of the concept art for Professor X that got kind of leaked was him in the yellow fucking floating chair. Where else have you seen that? Right? There's only one place you've seen it. And so it's interesting because, some of the like behind the scenes stuff of like the art that came out, it's not even behind the scenes, but like the art that came out, like posters and things that they've released have shown Doctor Strange and America Chavez and Wong and Wanda in an animated style. Right? Like there was that one, it's like a fucking draw. It's not just a regular poster. It's an animated like movie style. Maybe there's a scene just like fucking Kill Bill where it's just like the fucking anime part of the movie. Like, yeah, why not? You could absolutely do it. They meet Professor X, or they meet the other X-Men or whatever characters, and then they just like break through that dimension and they go into the next one. Doesn't have to be long. Fucking 2 minutes.
Man, this yeah, I'm just looking at the trailer just to kind of pick it apart.
Hyped. Super fucking hyped.
Yeah, man. I just I'm super excited for this, man. Like I can't wait to see what they do with it. I'm trying not to get too excited. There are people speculating on do you have any speculation on I have no idea who it can be. I've seen all the speculation. I have no idea who it can be, but the figure that Wanda is fighting, that plainclothes Wanda is fighting.
Yep. Well, Slash Film just said, here's an image from the 8K trailer. It's inarguable who it is. I'll just say that.
I haven't seen it.
It's inarguable who it is. It's not Monica or Maria Rambeau, and it ain't fucking Tom Cruise. By the way, I love that speculation that Tom Cruise would play a variant of Tony Stark. I think that's a lot of fun. I don't know if that'll happen. Look, I'm a Tom Cruise apologist. I would be ecstatic. I would be ecstatic.
Especially that version, the superior Iron Man version.
Like, he's
because that's like he's fucking evil Iron Man. Like, yeah, that would be fun. That would be something that I think he could really kind of sink his teeth into.
Oh, he would have a blast with it.
Yeah, but just having fun.
Yeah, and like, look, it's not like he's going to be Iron Man in the MCU. This is a one and done, right? This is a one and done. But the person, well, they're the same color as Monica and Maria Rambeau, but it's not a woman, and it's a new character. So take a guess who that actor is.
Oh, is it Jonathan Majors? Is it
well,
it's Kang?
Well, all I'll say, I don't know which variant of Kang it is, but I know Jonathan Majors' very Negro face when I see it. Like, I can tell you that.
See them big ass soup coolers.
That's right. I was like, it's like the fucking Leonardo DiCaprio meme. Like, oh, Jonathan Majors. Like, it's 100% him. It's 100%. So some speculation that it's a variant of Kang, which is Iron Lad, which is interesting. Maybe.
Oh yeah, look at them big look at them big ass lips.
It's inarguable who it is. It's inarguable.
And that big ass nose. Like Jonathan Majors got some big lips, but he also has a nose as wide as his fucking mouth, yo.
Yeah.
Like it is
like, nah, yo. People are like, nah, it's Monica Rambeau. No, it's not. It's Maria Rambeau. No, it's not. It's Tom Cruise. No, it's not. Trust me, it's not. It's Jonathan Majors. The question is, how is that going to play? Like, is he Iron Lad? Is he a variant of another?
Might be.
Who knows?
That might be Iron Lad. Or but you never know. You never know because like while the MCU takes comics as inspiration, they don't follow them. They don't follow comics like gospel.
No.
Which is what I like. Which is what like hardcore nerds hate because they want to be right about everything.
Right. They can't guess it all.
Right. But that's the fun part, yo. Like
right. I don't want like I'm speculating all this. I'm speculating all this stuff. I don't know. I have no clue. If it's all incorrect, I would love it. I like as long as it's good. I don't care. I don't need to be right. I just need to be entertained. that's my only thing. That's my only thing. So yeah, yo, it's Jonathan Majors. Knock it off. Like when they were like, here's an AK. Like they weren't even speculating. They're like, look. Like, we're not black, but it's Jonathan Majors, guys. Like, we see what he looks like.
Like they straight up just say Doctor Strange may reveal a new Kang variant. Like, they're not even bullshit. You know?
Nope. And I don't think they're wrong. I don't think they're wrong. So it's interesting. But man, look, I'm hyped is an understatement, in my opinion.
Yeah. I kind of don't want another trailer. I'm in.
I don't need to see it.
I mean, I've always been in, but like I am in and I am turgid. I am so turgid you could put fucking insulation in my dick. Like that's how I am ready.
Wow.
I am ready for this.
Some would say that you could rename this movie Doctor Strange into the multiverse of Mojo Rising, if you will. You could do that if you wanted to, which is weird. But yeah, I'm as hyped as I think I could possibly be. I thought that trailer was awesome. Like,
yeah, man.
Wow. Yeah. Look, man. Maybe the MCU is gonna fall off. I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah. People will be tired of them. All right.
Yeah, yo, remember what we used to say? I'm tired of Spider-Man. What happened? You got 3 of them in the same movie, and everybody lost their fucking collective minds. Stop saying that stuff. You just want good stuff. They're giving it to you, dude. They're giving it to you.
Yeah,
it's awesome. All right, that is it for us. We are way past our normal time. We're trying to keep the shows much shorter. So we will see you guys next week.
See ya.